Quest 64 is notorious for its patchwork writing and poor storytelling, and while it can be said that the game's plot is inaccessible at times, I disagree that there is any lack of story or lore, despite what my contemporaries might claim. To start, it's crucial to break down what lore is, and why it might be more important than you think going forward in this series. Because of this, I have friend and fellow YouTuber, Daniel Santos, to clarify lore in gaming.
Thank you, Jake. To begin with, let's define our terms. Lore is the body of knowledge, especially of a traditional, anecdotal, or popular nature on a particular subject. That's all well and good, but what significance does this hold for a story? Typically, when discussing narrative, lore goes hand in hand with another term known as world building. For the uninitiated, world building is specified as the construction of a world, especially a convincing fictional world for literature. These terms are the foundations necessary for bringing to life the fabricated reality the characters inhabit. It is through these concepts that the developers are able to construct the world and make it feel as if it is a tangible and believable location, rather than simply a collection of polygons and sprites. Yes, that is literally what the world of Celtland is. However, it is through the lore and world building that the player is able to internalize it as more than the sum of its parts. Not simply textures and art assets, but a living, breathing world. Now that everyone is up to speed, it's time to hand the mic back to Jake and dig deep into the unearthed secrets the world of Quest 64 has to offer.
The island continent of Celtland is a fantastic land of humans, monsters, and magic. It is a place of varying landscapes, rolling hills and green valleys, endless stretches of dark forests, misty woods, sun-baked desert sands, great lakes, barren moors, and massive caves and tunnels of fire and ice. While the hostile relationship between human and monster is as old as time itself, the people are safe behind strong walls or inside magnificent castles and towers. Some even settle outside of major cities despite the danger and live perfectly peaceful lives. Much of this peace is in part thanks to a treaty signed by the three dominating kingdoms of Celtland. The first, Kenishire, is the land of northern magic, situated on the northernmost stretch of the continent and north of the Great Lake, Loch Kildery. Kenishire is home to the capital city of Dondrin, which is well known for its potters and craftsmen. Additionally, Kenishire harbors Melrose and the Melrose monastery, home of the famous magicians known as spirit tamers. The current monarch, King Scottfort, is a just and wise ruler, considered a hero to the people of his realm. Though Kenishire's queen passed some time ago, they shared a child before her death. The heir, Princess Flora, a young swordswoman with a feisty personality. South of Kenishire and Loch Kildery is the Kingdom of Carmagh, home to the capital Limeland, a wealthy, extravagant city of nobles and merchants. Lorrapool, the famous city of water, and the autonomous village of Normoon, home to the druids of Windward Forest. The current reigning monarch is Queen Diana, known for her beauty, extravagant wealth, and her home, the Great Limeland Manor. She is followed by her son, Prince William, a young, brave, albeit bratty boy interested in swords and magic. Additionally, her loyal vassal, Lord Hoson Shrieker, manages many of the capital city's affairs, as well as the Barragoon Mine, where Carmagh amasses much of its wealth from. Finally, the Kingdom of Fire and Sword known as Highland rests at the southernmost edges of Celtland. The capital city of Brannock is nigh impregnable, with huge sturdy walls and inner walls, lined with cannons and siege breakers protecting the formidable Brannock Castle, which stands high on an ocean cliffside. Highland also stretches to the Dindom Dries, where the small village of Greenock is found at the desert's border. The current monarch is warrior King Bigus, a man with an excellent mind for warfare and the defense of his lands. While a peace treaty maintains harmony over the three kingdoms, this was not always the case, as long ago, kingdoms with names long forgotten in the annals of history fought ruthlessly with one another. They did not fight for lands or money, not for titles, crowns, or fame. They fought over an ancient relic that seemingly sprang from the darkness. 1,000 years ago, war raged on Celtland. The warring nations fought over control of the enigmatic object known as the Eltale book, a bygone capable of granting its possessor great power, or so it was told. Center stage, the magician king of Shamwood, Lavar, took control of the book, in the hopes of using the object to acquire untold, magnificent powers. However, in exchange, he unleashed a devastating curse upon himself, dooming his kingdom as a result. While the book granted King Lavar great magic, it was a power of menacing design. The king could hate, but no longer love. He could cause dread and fear, but no longer inspire. His newfound abilities caused great devastation across the land, even at the expense of his own people. There was no end in sight, until one woman appeared. Epona, the spirit tamer, otherwise known as a magician who became powerful by forming a pact with the great elemental spirits of wind, water, earth, and fire, came forward to put an end to Lavar's unrelenting destruction. Through her pact with the spirits, Epona gained just enough strength to overthrow Lavar, free him from his curse, and return the twisted power of the book to its pages. But this was done at a great cost. The battle that took place between Epona and Lavar inadvertently caused the kingdom of Shamwood to vanish, cities and their people to disappear, and the green valleys of the kingdom turned to scorching desert. This event came to be known as the Day of Grief. But because of this sacrifice and Epona's efforts, Lavar's destruction ceased, as he was freed from the book's hold. However, Lavar would still face justice for the crimes he committed to Celtland and her people, and was exiled by Epona to a place beyond reach. Epona only just managed the strength to overcome Lavar and the Eltale book, thanks to the power of the great spirit she had made a pact with, which had granted her unprecedented magical might. Should the book fall into the wrong hands again, though, the same miserable outcome would play out. And should there not be one with the power of the great spirits to assist them, the world would be doomed. To avoid this, the great elemental spirits would create the elemental gems, powerful vessels capable of holding portions of the book's dark power. The power of the book was quartered, housed within the earth orb, the wind jade, the water jewel, and the fire ruby. However, the elemental gems, even with only a portion of the book's dark power, were still capable of causing great destruction if left in the wrong hands, thanks to the book's evil influence. Should someone collect all 4 elemental gems and the Eltale book once more, the cycle of destruction would resume. To ensure these artifacts never again fell into the wrong hands, each item was given to a trustworthy scion who would pass their artifact on to the next generation. A millennium has passed, and both the gems and the Eltale book have found their way to their current holders. The Earth Orb is held by King Scotfort, ruler of the Kingdom of Kenishire in northern Celtland, at his impressive castle in Dondoran. The Water Jewel is held by Colleen, the solitary sorceress at the center of the Great Lake, Loch Kildery. The Wind Jade is the charge of the Druids of Normoon, which they hid deep within the old Windward Forest. Finally, the Fire Ruby is held by the noble lord Hoson Shrieker, the popular and steadfast retainer to the wealthy Queen Deanna of the Kingdom Karma. The Eltale book itself, however, was kept by Epona. She traveled to the far northern edges of the continent and established the Melrose monastery, a place which served 3 unique purposes. First, it functions as the largest centralized location of worship in Celtland, dedicated to the great elemental spirits who sacrificed much to assist Epona and create the elemental gems. Second, it houses and trains spirit tamers, unique magicians such as Epona that can form pacts with spirits. Finally, deep below the monastery in ancient crypts, locked away in secret, the Eltale book is hidden away and guarded by the master spirit tamers. While the rest of Celtland's people moved on from the war, as the present-day kingdoms of Kenishire, Carmaw, and Highland all enjoy their shared peace, a young boy known as Brian trains with his father, master spirit tamer Lord Bartholomew, in hopes of one day also becoming a master spirit tamer at the Melrose monastery. One fateful night, however, the peace the monastery knew is broken. A strange spell is cast over the entire monastery by a powerful, unknown thief. Thanks to this spell, the thief managed to break into the underground crypts, steal the Eltale book, and vanish as quickly as they appeared without a trace. This event created a myriad of questions. Why would someone want to steal the Eltale book now? Who could possibly wield magic beyond a master spirit tamers to break into their very home and steal their most important charge? Does this mean the elemental gems are in danger of being stolen as well? How could there be virtually no traces of the thief? And most importantly, how does the monastery return the book to the safety of the crypts before it's too late? These questions still burn in Lord Bartholomew's mind as he rides from the monastery and the gate of Melrose village in his search for the book, leaving behind his son and student, Brian. Though Brian wishes to go with his father, the Grand Abbot convinces him to remain and wait patiently. Much time has passed, and it's been over a month since the monastery has received a letter from Lord Bartholomew, and he is now considered missing in action. Brian can wait no longer, and despite the Grand Abbot begging for him to stay, he finally gives in to the young apprentice and grants him leave. While Brian is a gifted spirit tamer, he's still only a child and yet to master his abilities, and the Eltale book is a dangerous artifact that is in the hands of an equally dangerous, unknown enemy in lands of hostile monsters. Despite being aware of the unprecedented danger, Brian turns from the abbot, opens the door to the stairwell leading out of the tower, and takes the first steps of his quest. A quest to reunite a father and son, return a deadly, ancient artifact to safety, and bring a powerful, unknown enemy to justice. If this wasn't enough, word is spreading that King Bigus of the Southern Kingdom Highland is rattling his sword for war. At the end of the longest road, for better or worse, Brian will find the answers he's been searching for.